What's up, guys? So this is Dom from Faith Family Homestead. I have my husband here, Jonathan.
Hi, I'm Jonathan.
We decided that we're gonna sit down and do another story time with you guys. I had someone ask us for how did we meet? They asked other questions too, but I told them I would do a story time of how we met. So obviously for this story, I needed the comedian here.
What? Not the comedian, but
He is the comedian.
Folks want to know all kind of stuff though, so yeah, we're gonna share how we met.
He is the comedian. The thing is, so like I have a lot of y'all comment on the videos about like, that he's an actor and all that stuff. Do you want to tell them?
No.
He is an actual actor. Like he is. He has acted in lots of plays throughout high school and college.
Just a few plays. I'm not acting now.
He's not acting now, but
I haven't been in acting in a long time or done any lines or anything like that. Nothing theatrical in a long time.
But obviously he still has it.
Been busy working, trying to support the family and stuff like that, It's expensive. All these kids and
he didn't want to be a broke actor.
Yeah. I know,
So to answer all of you guys' questions about why he, is so funny and stuff, he said that he's been a comedian all his life.
Well, I guess, I don't know.
That's what he tells me.
No, not that I've been a comedian, but it's just that, when I was younger, I was always the short guy with big old feet, so the little kids in school used to always try to, tease me or make fun of me. And so I just always had something to say back to them, like whatever they said to me, I just try to turn it back around on them. And so I guess you could say I was a little mean kid, but there was a reason why I was making fun of people when I was in elementary school and middle school and high school and college.
All your life. So basically he's saying that he was the class clown. The kids that you had in school that was the class clown, that was him. And so it just rolled over into his adulthood.
Well, I mean, I had a couple of years where I guess someone could say that I was the class clown, I guess, just a couple of years. But for the most part, the reason why, is because, all these bigger, taller kids that were more proportionate at the time, they just used to always pick on a little short Bigfoot Jonathan, it's kind of hard when you're a little short kid with big feet and big lips, and then everybody else hasn't. Even when my voice changed, my voice got deep when I think turned either 10 or 11, and folks were trying to make fun of my voice, they were trying to, say I sounded like Barry White when I was in 6th grade or something like that. Like, oh, look at you, you sound like Barry White. And I was like, oh, look at you, you still sound like a baby, And so I had to keep doing things back and forth with folks until, well, I guess it never really got to a point where nobody ever said anything. But that's just how I grew up, That's how I grew up. I blame my dad for it. My dad always got.
Yeah.
My dad has jokes. He likes to joke a lot, So, so I just kind of took that part, but I just flipped it on people when they were trying to make fun of me. So, yeah.
So it's genetic. So he's naturally.
I thought we were supposed to be talking about something.
Okay. 4 minutes in, we're talking about how we met. So do you want to start?
Sure. So I was minding my business. I was. So we both were. We both worked for Taco Bell, and for anybody out there who's watching who worked at Taco Bell, we called it Taco Hell, pretty much. Because it's pretty. I mean, the food restaurant industry is really rough. It's really tough. It's especially in fast food. I mean, you have to do everything fast, and you have timers. Requirements to meet and stuff like that. Speed of service is what we call it and everything. And I'm sorry if I was looking this way, it's because I'm looking at the wrong end. I'm supposed to be looking over here. So we have speed of service things to meet. It's like specifically for Taco Bell, we had to get y'all behinds out the window in 60 seconds. Mm-hmm. So if we look like we're all over the place and just trying to rush you, that's the reason why. Otherwise, we probably would get fired, basically, But I was working at Taco Bell, and she was working at one, maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours away. And the Taco Bell and at the time I was single. I think I was single for maybe 2 years, I was really just kind of growing in my faith, and so I had abstained from like a lot of things, and I was really, I guess you could say somebody would say that I was being picky, I guess, because I'd have a couple friends at the restaurant that'd be like, man, you're just beating these girls off with a stick, and I just wasn't paying attention. If they were flirting with me, I wasn't even paying attention, just that laser focus. I was just like about the job, and that's it, job and school and Jesus, like that was it, but and so we ended up getting a new district manager, and the district manager did not like my general manager, and so he ended up firing the general manager. And so when he fired that guy, and that guy had been in the position for a long time, that affected other managers on the team who had been working for the GM for a long time. And as a result, they ended up quitting. Like, okay, well, I quit, and I quit. And I'm like, hey, I'm in college. It's like, this ain't my career.
I need this money.
I'm just trying to, just go to school, go to work. You guys are quitting. And so I went from working 30, 40 hours a week to working about 80 hours a week just because they fired the GM. They didn't put anybody new in there. 2 other managers quit. It just left me and another shift lead. And so the district was looking all over the little Charlotte area and South Charlotte and everything, Gastonia area, trying to find somebody to come and help us. So the person they was able to find was my wife, was Dom, And so, they bring her in to close one night, because at the time I was the one closing. I had
recently just moved from New York. I think how many months?
I don't know how many months it was.
I don't know. It wasn't.
Well, no, 'cause you were living. Oh yeah, I guess it might have been a few months. I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't that many months. I had an apartment in North Carolina, and I had got promoted fairly quickly. I think it was like less than 6 months.
I
don't know, something like that.
Yeah. So you weren't. Yeah, but she was like an hour. She lived like an hour and a half from the store.
But they was gonna pay me extra.
Yeah.
To go close this store.
Right. And I was normally the closer. I was always working those nights. And so if you watching and I served you high, that was me. I'm saying that late at night. But but basically, she came in to be the closer. And apparently at the store she was like the fastest taco maker, and at my store I was the fastest taco maker. You probably wonder like what's important about that. Like, it's a big thing in the restaurant. It's like, with whoever can make the fastest taco or burrito, it's like they're always trying to be the fastest person.
It's like a competition.
Yeah, it's a huge competition. It may not seem like that if you go to a slow one, but like it's some serious stuff. There's always somebody who's like, I'm faster than you, I can make the time or whatever, quesadillas and all, and so at that time, and I wasn't bragging on myself, my team was bragging on me. They're like, oh, Jonathan's fast. And so she was like, I'm faster than him, And so they get into a bind. I have to jump on the line. I'm doing, I think, the dining room side, and she was doing the drive-through side. And so we had like some serious chemistry on the line though, because it's like I needed something, and we could just kind of like spin off each other and grab it from the other side and spin back, and we were just going, And so it was fun. And then I think I had to switch to go on her side, because I think whoever was on your side left or whatever. And that's when she got to see how fast I really was. And then she realized, she didn't tell me till like years later though. So
you can't tell him.
She realized that I was faster than her,
You can't tell him why he no. I was like, no, I'm faster than you. I don't care. Even though I knew in my brain, I was like, dang, this fool's faster than me.
I mean, look, I knew I was fast. I was just waiting for her to say something, because I'm like, I'm getting the meat in the top, put the lettuce in there, and I'm passing to her. She's just like... And so I knew in my mind that, okay, yeah, I got her, but that's beside the point. So anyway, so that's when we actually met. We've seen each other one other time because they had like this
ceremony.
That's what it was?
Yeah. And you said you thought I was a teenager.
I thought she was a kid. She was like in some kind of mismatched outfit with like a visor, you don't normally see people with visors that much, but she had a visor and then something over her head, and she just looked like a baby, which is why I call her baby face, but
I didn't even know that he was calling me baby face because he thought I was a baby. I thought it was just like a cute little, it wasn't until like years later that somebody was like, he called you baby face because you have a baby face. And I was like, really? I'm like, I thought it was just like a cute little name because I call him baby, but it's not because I think he looked like a baby.
Right. No, she always looked like a kid. Even when I saw her there, it's like I wasn't thinking about her because I was just like, that's a little child over there. Like I guess somebody's parents brought their kid to the award ceremony. Is what I was thinking. I was like, man, okay, I didn't know you could do that. But anyway, so that particular night, I think at that time that's when that goofy GM was working there. So they did hire somebody, but he never worked in like a restaurant before.
He was an army guy.
Yeah, he never worked in a restaurant before. Really, really goofy guy. But that night, he's telling her, who's been in the restaurant business, like in Taco Bell, at least a lot longer than I have. Like for me, it was just a job I was doing while I was in college. I didn't have any plans on staying with Taco Bell, but for her, she had been in the restaurant thing longer than me.
Yeah, because before I worked at the Taco Bell in North Carolina, I worked at the Taco Bell for a lot of years in Connecticut. And so I had been a manager in Connecticut Taco Bell before I moved down to North Carolina.
Yeah. And so, she's in the office. I'm in the office, and the new GM is like, yeah, if you have any questions or if you have any trouble tonight, Jonathan, he's normally the closer, and he's just volunteering this, he's normally the closer. So if you have anything going on later on tonight, when you're closing, which if y'all know Taco Bell closes like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and I think that was like a weekend night, so it was definitely like 4 o'clock or something like that. But he's like, just call Jonathan. I'm sure he'll be awake and be happy to answer your calls. I'm just like, okay, So I was like, okay, and when I looked at her eyes, I could tell she was gonna call me though. I do remember that. When I looked at her eyes, no. When I looked at her eyes,
what my eyes said?
Because your eyes were like, I'm gonna call you anyway.
That's a lie.
Because she knows what she's. She already knew the job. I wouldn't expect her to call me because she's been in the job longer than me.
My eyes was not saying I was going to call.
It was like,
no. You think I was flirting with you, my eyes?
No, you were just telling me with your eyes that you was going to call me. Didn't even have to be an issue. You were just calling. And so, I think I left her at maybe like 10 o'clock that night. She calls me when they're closing. And she's
I had a legit question.
No, there was no legit. What was your question?
I don't remember. I think it was like something would happen with the computer.
I don't remember that.
I remember.
No, I don't remember that. I do remember you asking me all kind of other questions and talking about all kind of other things for a bunch of hours.
After.
Now that I think about it, I don't know how you even closed the store when you was on the phone with me that long. Ain't nothing was getting clean, I guess.
What do you mean? I'm always clean.
Yeah. We had some tricks of the trade in Taco Bell. But she called me that night. She calls me that night, and we're talking about life and everything in the middle, and just all kind of different things, like what each other like and stuff like that. And she's talking to me for probably 3 hours before she's like, "Hey, wait, do you have a girlfriend?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got a girl. She right here. She's laying down, And so she, I was just joking with her. She thought I was serious though, And so I could hear the change in her tone, and I was just like, I'm just joking. Like, I don't have a girl. I wouldn't be talking to you if I had a girlfriend, Like, we ain't talking about work, So.
I thought he was serious because I had just moved from New York, okay, and everybody was a player. They was like, they would, I sometimes, was the other girl where they had a girlfriend. I knew they had a girlfriend, wrong. Mm-hmm. And so when he's like, he had a girlfriend, and it's like many hours later, I was like, something wrong with you. Like, you talking to me for all these hours and your girlfriend's right there? Wrong.
She was still interested, though. Yeah, she was still interested. But,
that's not true.
Yeah, still interested. Yeah. I mean, your tone only changed a little bit. They're like, well, But I think the sun was starting to come up at this time, by the time we got through that. And we were still talking and everything. And we had really good conversation, though. And then I want to say that, you know what? That wasn't a weekend. That was actually that was Thanksgiving Eve. I think the next day was Thanksgiving. Or that morning was Thanksgiving. I don't know. It was a holiday. Yeah.
I remember us going to the movies on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So it was a holiday. If it wasn't Thanksgiving, it might have been... I don't think they were closed on Thanksgiving. I think they only closed for Christmas. If they did close, I'm not even sure. I can't remember, but it was a holiday week though, and so our first date at I don't know. She asked me if I asked her. I'm not sure how that happened. I actually can't remember if I asked her about the movies. Probably, yeah.
I think you did.
I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. And so it was basically like a double date because your sister and her boyfriend came too. You know, which is a whole nother story. But but yeah, so took her out to the movies that next day, and I guess the guy she normally dates, I guess they some broke dudes because she was about to pay for the movie and everything, and so she had this big gigantic book bag sized purse that she was digging in to find her money. I had already paid the person, got the tickets, and I was just sitting there just waiting, see what she was doing. And she was in there for a while, and then she looks up, and she's like, she finds a card, and I'm like, I already done paid. She's like, what? So that was like a little shocker for her.
And he used to open the doors.
Oh, yeah?
He don't open the doors no more.
I don't do that no more. I don't even remember when I was opening the doors, but I'm glad you remember that. Yeah.
Because he would try to run around to open the doors, and I'm like, I can open my own door, fool. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. I think I just got old now, but I mean, I tried to. I opened the door for you today when we was leaving.
Now I wait. Now I wait for him or my son. I be like,
sometimes.
I be like when my son with me, I be like, Aiden.
Yes, I mean most she walks fast, she don't think she does, but she walks fast. So most of the time she'll be at the car or at the place before I even get over there, So I think that probably has to do with a lot of it. But at that time, yeah, opening doors and just being a gentleman, and we probably dated for maybe just a couple months or 3 months before she started coming with me to the church I was going to, and she got baptized in that church, And at that time, that's when, either before the baptism or after that, she was like, I want you to marry me. I was like, she's like, I believe God wants me to marry you,
I do not remember saying that.
Through the Lord, and then it's like,
I don't remember.
Snap.
I said that.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I didn't.
You was like, you said that God told you to marry me, and I'm just like, hold up.
He didn't tell me.
I ain't hear that from the Lord. Like, Lord. Yeah, I ain't hear that from the Lord. So I was like, well, let's just date a little bit longer, and we'll see what happens. And so, we were dating, and
he's lying.
No, I'm not. So what do you remember happening?
I don't remember saying. I do remember I said, "Marry me," and he was like, and I was like, "Marry me." Oh, but I don't remember saying nothing about the Lord. If I did, y'all was of course lying. I was a heathen, so.
Mm-hmm. She was. She using the Lord to get me to marry her. She said God told her. That's what I remember. Cause I was like, man, okay, but
married though.
So maybe he did. I'm not sure. But yeah.
I'm sure I didn't lie on the Lord like that.
but yeah, we started dating some more, and spent a lot more time together. I eventually met Aiden at that time. I think he was 3 years old or whatnot. And so I just loved him. He was just this big head, big smiling little kid, that just loved race cars. And actually, at the time, his favorite color was red, and my favorite color was blue. My second favorite color would have been red at the time too. But I really loved blue. But after just hanging with Aiden and just all the crazy things that he and I did, it's like our passions just kind of changed. He started loving blue a lot, and I just fell in love with red, and that's really been.
It hasn't changed now.
Yeah, it's been 12 years now, and it's like that's my number one color.
Now his cover was red and Aiden's is blue.
Yeah, Aiden's favorite color is blue. And he's not rocking away from that either. But yeah, so my wife has a thing with the number 5, and so we had eventually. Well, actually, I guess before we got to that wedding date, I tried to be a little romantic. I mean, she already wanted me to marry her, so it was like there was no element of surprise to it. So I just tried to be kind of sweet and a romantic type, and we took a very, 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 very long walk, and I was just saying all these sweet nothings and stuff. And I had a little ring in my hand or pocket or something like that.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember the ring?
No, I don't remember us taking a walk.
Yeah, because we were walking from the park in Belmont. Like I took you to the park in Belmont, and we were walking around that area for a long time. Yeah, don't remember that. It's okay. It's
I
okay.
thought we was laying in the bed and you pulled out a ring.
No, we were walking. But no, we were walking for a long
I have
time.
bad memory.
She really does. But it's sometimes it's selective though.
It is.
Yeah.
Some stuff I remember real good.
Yeah, but anyway, I proposed to her in, sweet romantic type of way that was like kind of she already figured that was about to happen, but also it's like I didn't say anything, because eventually I fell in love with her, I mean, with all the random things, the pushiness and the the wildness,
Because he was a good old Christian boy and I was a ghetto New York girl.
You weren't ghetto. I mean, you
was
call
ghetto.
yourself that, but it's like, nah, like you just didn't
I
know
remember being ghetto.
you just didn't know the Lord. You weren't ghetto though. Like you wasn't coming in there all kind of way, looking all strange and stuff like
Well,
that.
because we had uniforms.
No, I'm talking about even when we weren't at work, because they ended up having a permanent in my store. It's like, and I didn't think that was gonna happen. And so we eventually had to let them know that we was together. But they ended up making her permanent in my store because like we couldn't find anybody else to work, and then I just had that goofy GM who didn't know what he was doing. But yeah, so we yeah, from that point, I mean, we will see each other at work and then outside of work. Now when we were working together, we was working on each other's nerves, or at least she was working on mine, because like she'll be at the fry station. And
I'm very bossy.
I would need something, I'm like, hey, can you drop this? And she'd just look at me like, don't you see I'm working? It's like the customer need that, can you please drop this? And she just not even acting like she don't even hear me, And so we worked on each other's nerves for a little bit, at work. But then we were off from work. It's like it was all fun and games and everything. But I didn't think you were ghetto though. Like you probably would have still been at Taco Bell if I thought you were ghetto. You still be there right now, They're like
no,
deuces,
He don't know. He was just in love with my face that he don't remember, but I remember.
No, because it's like I've seen ghetto girls. I've been around ghetto girls. I've grown up with ghetto girls, and you weren't one of those. I mean, unless that's the New York ghetto-ness, I guess. But to us Southern folk, that would just you were just regular.
I must have been on my best behavior then.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you started getting your best when we started going to church. Yeah, and the crazy thing with that is like the days that we went to church, the pastor, he was on like a couple month long sermon off the same scripture, just going through like all the sins, So like every time we went. Every Sunday we went, it's like he was preaching fire, It's like there were folks in there all uncomfortable and stuff like that. But it was a really intense time, so maybe that's why he was on good behavior, I guess, He just kept hearing all these things that was just, But anyway.
Anyway, so that is the story how we met. I remember, I think I'm telling you something happened that I called you.
What?
I don't know.
Something happened that you called me?
Yeah,
no.
that first night.
Oh, you're talking about Taco Bell?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened.
No, something
There was
did.
absolutely nothing wrong.
Something did.
No.
Something happened. I just don't remember what happened. But
I remember it was nothing.
I remember
Because
something.
she knew the system better than I did. She's been in this thing a lot longer than, even though I was the closer at the time, but she's been in the business longer than I have. So
They had
it's
different
like,
systems though.
She knew, she was getting paid 50 cents more than I was, She was
50
like,
cents?
yeah.
That's it?
That was it.
They gypped me, man.
Yeah, so I mean,
How you know it was only 50 cents?
Because you told me. It was like, how you only making this 50 and I'm making this, And I'm like, oh, well, okay, that's nice to know,
Well, they gypped me then.
Yeah, they gyp everybody. But Taco Bell beside the point.
Anyway, I remember thinking, I had just moved from New York. I remember thinking that he was cute. And, I mean, I was like, well, he got big old lips, but he's cute. And he was funny. He's still funny, and I like to laugh. So, like, you guys are commenting, like, you know, that I laugh a lot. I actually really like to laugh a lot, and I actually like to joke a lot. But when it's just me and you, it's really just me and a camera, and so there's nobody to laugh with me. So
Yeah.
even though I am, like, if a lot of people, like even my kids tell me that I'm very boring on camera more than I am in real life. In real life, I'm very hilarious and like spontaneous and all the things that you see like when I'm in videos with my husband is because there's somebody here to laugh with me and to joke with.
Yeah.
But when it's just me and a camera, I'm still trying to work out that it's just me. So
Yeah.
I'm like laughing at myself, I feel like. So that's why people think, you know, they're like, oh, you know, I love when your husband's around, or, you know, or whatever. Or I mean, or like regular people that know me in real life, you know, they're like, you're
Yeah.
different on camera. Not that I'm, but I'm more, I guess,
You're more conservative.
yeah, conservative on
Yeah.
camera when it's just me. But it's because it's just me
Yeah.
and my on the camera. It's not
Right.
me and somebody else. But
It really is spontaneous. Like, you know, she used to kidnap me a lot. You know, like I think we'll go places after work or whatever, and I would fall asleep sometime. And one of those times I fell asleep and I woke up and
we're
we're
in
like
the mountains.
we were in the mountains, and I was like, how do we get here? You know,
I was like, we going for a hike.
she was like, I got lost. I was like, how you get lost going straight? Like, I don't understand. It was
I
a
didn't get
straight
lost.
shot. You know, I was like,
I didn't get lost.
I know you didn't get lost. That's what you told me, though. She was like, I got lost. And I was like, how you get lost going straight? I don't understand. But she just used to want to take these random trips and everything, you know. And
I love spontaneous. Like, so if we sitting here right now and then I get the idea that we should go to, you know, the roller coaster or something. I'm like, baby, let's go to the
or the zoo.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
I like, let's go to the zoo. And
You
here we're
know?
like,
it's 99 degrees outside. I don't even think the
and
animals
it's
going
4
to be out.
p.m. Like, they about to close in an hour. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
you know, but
we can make it.
We'd go, you know, we'd go, and you know, it didn't matter how many kids we had at the time. It's like, you know, we'd get up and we'd go, and I mean, it's been fun experiences, you know.
No,
like
he stopped being spontaneous. Now he look at me and be like, no.
No, I wasn't like the spontaneous kind of get up and go like that.
Yes,
was just
but I
you,
would take him, and then now he started, and now he's like, no.
Oh, because somebody got to pay for all these spontaneous trips, and I was like, brother, been working. But yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. So
that's how we met.
that's how we met. You know, they slapped her in my store, and she didn't want to leave me alone from that point on. And so
I was like,
yeah, so almost 12 years later, here we are.
it has been 12 years. We just haven't been married for 12 years. In May, it'll be 12 years.
Yeah, in May we've been married for 12 years, so like
So we've been together for 12 years.
12 and a half years. Yeah. Yeah, it was really, really quick and everything, you know, really fast, you know. Not endorsing quick marriages, you know what I'm saying? You know, definitely take your time.
But we still here.
Yeah, but we're still here, though.
By the grace of God.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Any lasting words?
No?
I dragged him into this video spontaneously.
Yeah, because I was working.
And I was like, do this video with me.
Yes.
See?
Yeah.
But he's a good sport.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes, I guess.
Peace.
Peace.